Yeah, hello friends. My name is Alan George and I'm a staff of Learnup Consulting. I welcome you to this graphic design class using Canva, and it's brought to you by Learnup Digital Academy, which is an arm of the Learnup Group, where we teach people basic digital skills that equips people for the treasures and the opportunities in the 21st century. So in this class, I'm going to be teaching you how to do very beautiful designs for your business and for some other uses. Okay, and it's going to be a 5-day class, and at the end of these 5 days you will have learned a whole lot, and I promise you some bonuses at the end of the classes, bonuses you didn't expect I was going to add to it. So like I promised in the flyers that got you enrolled for these classes, you're going to learn some basic and simple design principles and foundation that will help you design anything, including things I might not mention exactly in these classes. You will already know how to design them by understanding these principles. And then you understand, you know how to, or rather you learn how to create very beautiful advert designs for your businesses, and how to create a unique visual brand for your business, such that when people see your content from afar, they can tell that it belongs to Learnup Group, it belongs to Lumiere Cravings, or it belongs to your business. Depending on the name of your business, have a way of branding your business so that it sends, the identity of a business pulsates in the mind of people every time they see any content for that belongs to you, even from afar. And then how to design business letterhead, how to monetize your design skills, and you watch me design a couple of things and learn much more too. All right, so let's get right into it. And meanwhile, like I said, at the end of by the end of this particular day one class, you will have learned the basics of graphic designs. And then I intend also sharing videos on how to sign up for Canva. It's either I put it in this today's video or I add it to tomorrow's video. But at the least today, you're going to understand the basics of graphic designs. I'm trying to ensure the videos are not too long for each day. So if it's not too long, I'm going to add the other one, signing up for Canva, intro to Canva interface, and you watch me do some things. As long as the videos can be very short, and I'll give you an assignment. But if it's too long, then I'll just let it be just the basics of graphic designs alone for today. Okay. And one important thing you should know, well, is that one of the beauty of Canva is that it is very simple to use. And a lot of people are not used to those things that are simple. When they hear that it's simple, they feel like it's not going to be of good quality. But one thing you need to get used to in the 21st century that will help you, leverage on the various advantages that we have in our days is that we can get quality outputs with simplicity. It doesn't have to be complex. You can make a lot of money with simplicity. You can make good designs with simplicity. You can get good things, great things done with simplicity, even though it might require hard work, but it's simple, not complex. And this is one of the things that other people are not able to relate with when they realize you are doing great things that they couldn't have done in times past without going through a whole lot of complex steps. But in our days, we can do things with simplicity. And that's one of the things you realize as I teach you how to use Canva. They're going to be so simple that you might miss out on the value, on the quality of the things we're doing because they're too simple. But don't let that happen to you. Get used to the fact that we can get quality outputs with simplicity, and the things I'm going to be teaching are going to be very simple. All right, so these are the basics of design. Each of these things, if it's to be expounded, it can take a week or two to even teach each and every one of them. But I'm going to be trying to condense them in a way that, they are not so, I'm not going to be sharing very, very big things, just condensing them in a way that you just get a grasp of the concepts, and then you'll be able to apply them in your design. The number one thing is emphasis. Now, before you start your design, you must understand, you must be very clear about your objectives, the things you want people to get to know, even if they wouldn't read the whole design, if they wouldn't read the whole content in the design. What are the things that are most important things you want to emphasize? And if you get it very right, the emphasis can get people to eventually read some other things that are the supporting contents, which I call supporters. But what are the things you want to emphasize, things you want to project at the people, very, very clear things you want to ensure they don't miss out on. And let me give you an example. Okay, and see the design, for example, that I use for this adverts that got you to enroll for this course. I needed you to know that it is going to be a design class, for example, and so I ensure that I put designs there. And then you know that you're going to be using your mobile phone, because without this being prominent. If I just write using a mobile phone and it's just on the background, just like, the other letters, people might not easily get to say, oh, it's a design class, but I don't have a laptop. They might not even see that it's using a mobile phone. So I had to ensure that I emphasize it with that red button, just so that you can see that you're going to be able to use your phone to make these beautiful designs from scratch to finish. And I want you to know that you can design like a pro, as though you were a professional who has been learning for so long. Okay, and let you to know that you can learn it in just 5 days. It doesn't have to take a month or 2 months. Within 5 days, you can get this concept. And I also mentioned that it's going to be with Canva. Okay, so these are my emphasis, and I also needed you to know the cost. Very, very easily, that is very cheap. The things you're going to learn are going to be so much for the price you're going to get. I know the early bird price for this for the first edition was 2,500. That was so super cheap, right? I needed you to know the price, and then I needed you to know that the account number to pay to is there. So those were my emphasis, and I put enroll now in red, so that while you are up, you can easily say, oh, to enroll you need to pay to this particular account. So those were my emphasis, and I was very clear about those emphases as I started my design. Okay, what are the things you're going to emphasize, and ensure that you put that into consideration as you do your design. You can use the various other basics of this design that I share. Those are the things you combine together to get your emphasis straight. The color combination, you see, in case of this, you see I used a red color instead of the usual white and other colors. I used a red button for my using a phone. That was a color combination I intended to use just to achieve the emphasis I was talking about. Apart from that, the color combination has to be one that is pleasing to the eyes. Now, how do you ensure this? Choose very few colors. Don't choose 10 15 colors or even 6 colors. Between 2 and like 4 or 5 is even already becoming too much. For example, this is my design. I felt like the color combinations were just too much already, but I think there are just very few. I have about maybe 3 or 4 colors majorly, okay, on the design. But one of the reasons I chose the particular color I used for the most predominant color, what informed my decision. Here you see a color. I'm not even sure the name of this color because I'm not very good with colors, okay, but I know beautiful colors when I see them. All these colors, they were informed by the color of the suit I'm wearing. That's what informed the color I chose. Okay, and then I decided to add another color, yellow color. How about adding yellow and then making red, a few red, such that as few as the red are, they are able to give, the first impression of the most important things I needed to know using a mobile phone. Come on, you can use your mobile phone. So I ensure there is a color combination that is not too many. Here they are able to work hand in hand and give a very beautiful feel. So your color combination are a crucial part of your designs. And then the next thing is alignments. What do I mean by the alignments? In your design, you are going to be having more than 2-3 elements, and those elements have to align with one another. The ones that are importantly need to align with one another. Take, for example, this particular frame and this one, for example. They are similar elements, and I needed them to align. I wouldn't want this one, for example, to be shifted to the left, or this one to be shifted to the right. All right. I needed them both to align with each other so as to give a very good design feel. So alignment is ensuring that important elements are, they are well aligned. Is there any simpler word that can be used to explain alignment? Important elements are well aligned in your designs. Those are the things that give the pleasant feel that people have when they watch, when they see your designs. They might not know how to design, they might not understand design, but the feel that they get comes from paying attention to these basics that I'm sharing with you. So we ensure that they align. And you see, I ensure that this picture, for example, align with the middle of the design, right? There is a shape up and there is another shape down. So I ensure that the picture is just at the middle, exactly. And that leads us to the third point, which is symmetry. Symmetry is symmetry has to do with a sense of balance on different sides of your design or different sides of an element within the design. What do I mean by that? Now, see this design, for example. I'm not going to, let me just try to use another design. See Lumiere Craven's designs, for example. You have different boxes here, and I ensure that as you have them, the left part and the right part feel equal. Feel equal as much as possible. They feel equal. That is the whole essence of symmetry. That the right side, the left side, they feel equal. There is a feel of equality. And what makes people feel like that is shape. People are used to different shapes, square, rectangle, circle, and the like. So it has to feel like this thing is equal on both sides to give that pleasant feel with people. So I ensure that they are arranged in such a way that it feels equal. Take for example, if this ball was not here and this place was empty, there might be a feel of inequality on both sides, right? Meanwhile, there is a way you can diversify in such a way that they might not be exactly equal, but they still feel equal because you feel the different side with different elements. But in this case, this is the simplest way to understand different cycles, yet they feel equal. And I did that by ensuring that they are well aligned. This box, for example, is at the middle of this whole design. Now, in the course of design, I'm going to teach you how to simply get these things to align with the middle. It's very simple with Canva. There are ways, there are things that will give you the hints and how to ensure that these things are exactly at the middle, at the sides. There are ways to ensure that all of this alignment, you see them on Canva when I start using them with you. Very simple to learn. Very, very simple. That's why I love Canva. So simple, anyone can use it. So you see the alignment, things are well aligned to the middle and to one another. And then this is aligned to this particular one is aligned to the middle of this. Okay, and then they are all on the straight line. Why this one is not exactly on the straight line, but I ensure that it's aligned with this. We know it's aligned with this shape, this arc here. Okay, when I start, I will do this particular design from scratch. You're going to watch me do. You'll be very surprised at how I was able to get this arc. You'll be surprised at how I got it. It's very simple, but it's just about being creative. So alignment, symmetry, those are very important things you should pay attention to. And then contrast. What does contrast mean? Contrast simply means difference in a way, right? Contrast means difference. So in this particular design, for example, I needed to contrast the background from the write-up, ensuring that the write-ups are clearly shown. Your important elements are very clear. If this background, for example, was red, completely red, this might blend into the background. Or rather, if the background here was white, this L here may blend in with the white background. So ensuring that the background is of a darker shade and then the characters are of a white shade. That is what contrast is about. You see, there's a dark shade here, and then there is a red shade here, then there is a white shade here, ensuring that they are different colors entirely staying on top of one another to give a sense of contrast so that the elements or the contents can be clear on the different background, right? That's what contrast is about. Use contrast to your advantage. If this background, for example, was whitish, I might consider changing the color of my letters or my words to black or some other color that stand prominently on a white background. Okay, now you see this other design. All of the things I talked about earlier, very beautifully represented here. Now, I know the color, how did I get the color combination? It's still beautiful to look. It feels great. But the colors I know exactly from, I got white. There are whitish stuff on the background and then the white letters. But the yellow color, where do I get it from? I just chose that, right? Though they are not in even the dresses of the speakers, right? But I knew that I was considering changing the color, but I needed to just beat a 15 minutes time. I think 20. I was working with 20 minutes, ensuring I finished the design within 20 minutes, and I did it within 20 minutes. I just needed to prove points to people that you can do design within 20 minutes, and I did this design within 20 minutes. That might seem so genius kind of performance, but you see how you too can do that within the same length of time. I will teach you that in a subsequent video. But right now, you see how alignment, this thing is well aligned. You see how that the middle picture is exactly at the middle of the the design, and then all the picture are exactly at the middle up, and they're exactly at the middle point. When you are going from top, viewing it from top to down, they're exactly at the middle. And then when you're doing it from left to right, the middle picture is exactly at the middle, right? It's exactly at the middle. And then that's what gives the sense of alignment and the sense of symmetry. You see that different sides seem to feel balanced and be of the same weight. I pull this shape, for example, this shape is here, the shape is equally here to give that sense of balance on both sides. And that is what symmetry is about. And when you have considered all of these things and you've put them into use, check your designs when you're done. Does it feel great? Does it feel great? Because after you're done with your design, feeling is one of the things that just matters. If it doesn't feel great, that means you have not perfected one of these elements that I mentioned earlier. So you look back, check which of these basic principles have you violated to some degrees. That is often what leads to the feel that's, undesirable feel. You make a design, it doesn't just feel great. You might have got it right with the color combination or with the alignment or with the symmetry. And when you're done with design, if you're not sure, you can get someone else to view it. And the person doesn't have to be a good designer or a graphic designer, anyone, because ultimately the design is meant for, the generality of people, not for a graphic designer, right? So the person can check it, let the person give you a feedback. If the person doesn't feel great about it, possibly you got something wrong. The person might not even be able to explain to you what is wrong, but it just doesn't feel great about it. Ask as many questions as you can get. Whichever way the person can explain, come back and check each and every single one of these principles. It can be with the emphasis, it can be with the color combination. Very often is the color combination, and very often too you have alignment issues, symmetry issue, and then the contrast. Okay, all of these things work hand in hand to give a very good feel when you perfect them. So these are the basic principles for anyone who may want to do design. Now, I think they are more theoretical the way I explain them, even though I try illustrating them in subsequent videos. When I start designing proper, you're going to see how all of these things work hand in hand to give a very beautiful design, and you're going to see the practical use of these principles. So that is it about this video on the basics of graphic design. Now, in the next video, I'm going to show you how to sign up for Canva or install the Canva app if you like the app or you prefer the app to the web-based platform. And then I'm going to talk about the interface of Canva and how to relate with the Canva interface. Now, meanwhile, this is how Canva looks like typically. I mean, the Canva interface looks very much like this, and it can look so much like a handful. I use the app very often, but if you don't have enough space on your phone to take additional app, you can always use the web-based formats. So this is the interface. I'm going to show you the various things on the Canva interface and how to use them for your design needs. So that is it about that. So once again, my name is Alan Josh, and I'm going to be seeing you again in my next video. Any question, share it with me via WhatsApp or any other platform that is provided for you in your email. All right, so thank you so much. See you in my next video.